Chop 2 onions on a plastic cutting board? Congrats, you're eating plastic. Heat your pasta in a plastic container? Extra plastic. Microwave it. Now it's a plastic buffet. The reality is, it doesn't take much. Microplastics, tiny fragments of plastic less than 5 millimeters long, are leaching into your food at every turn. Even everyday acts like sipping coffee, reheating leftovers, or prepping a salad may be dosing your body with invisible synthetic particles. And scientists are starting to uncover just how deeply embedded this problem is. Not just in our environment, but in our bodies. The invisible ingredient in your kitchen. Let's start with the basics. Microplastics aren't just floating around in the ocean. They're in your home, your meals, your bloodstream. And here's how they get there. Plastic cutting boards shed particles with each knife stroke. Plastic containers release microparticles when scratched or heated. Microwave-safe containers can still leach plastic chemicals when exposed to high heat. Paper coffee cups, often lined with polyethylene, release microplastics when filled with hot liquid. Even reusable food-grade plastic wears down over time through friction, washing, and heat. Researchers now estimate that an average person may ingest tens of thousands of plastic particles per year. And that's a conservative estimate. The science is getting scarier. Until recently, most microplastic research focused on oceans, fish, and soil. But now, scientists are starting to measure what's happening inside human beings. And the results are unsettling. Recent studies have found microplastics in human blood, lung tissue, placenta samples, arteries and heart tissue, brain matter. Let that sink in, plastic in the brain. One study published in Environment International in 2022 found microplastics in nearly 80% of blood samples tested. Another found that exposure to these particles in mice increased inflammation and oxidative stress in brain tissue, potentially contributing to cognitive decline. How much is too much? We don't yet know what the safe threshold for plastic exposure is. And that's part of the problem. Is 1 cup of microwaved soup a week harmful? Does long-term low-dose exposure lead to cancer? Can these particles cross the blood-brain barrier? Some studies say yes. Others say it's inconclusive. But there's one thing scientists agree on. Plastics aren't biologically inert. They interact with cells, tissues, and organs. And those interactions can be disruptive, even in small amounts, especially when combined with other environmental toxins, stressors, and lifestyle factors. From plastic to poison, chemical cocktails. Microplastics don't just sit there. They can carry and release toxic chemicals, phthalates, linked to reproductive issues and endocrine disruption. Bisphenol A, BPA, associated with hormone imbalance, infertility, and developmental disorders. Polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons, PAHs, potential carcinogens. Heavy metals, absorbed and transported by plastic particles. It's not just the plastic itself. It's what the plastic brings with it. And when these particles make it into your digestive tract, bloodstream, or brain, they're not just inert invaders. They're chemical bombs. Modern life, plastic everywhere. You don't have to live in a landfill to be exposed. Everyday life is enough. Drink water. Tap and bottled water both contain microplastics. Eat seafood. Many marine animals consume plastic debris. Breathe. Microplastic fibers from synthetic fabrics and carpets float in household air. Wear polyester. You're shedding fibers with every movement. Use makeup. Microbeads and plasticizers are common ingredients. It's not paranoia. It's reality. You're not just surrounded by plastic. You're absorbing it. Health risks. The emerging picture. The long-term health risks of microplastic exposure are still being mapped, but early indicators are alarming. Cardiovascular disease. Microplastics have been found in arteries and are linked to inflammation, a key factor in heart disease. Cancer. Plastic additives like phthalates and BPA have been classified as potential carcinogens. Neurological effects. New data suggests particles can cross the blood-brain barrier, potentially contributing to cognitive disorders. Reproductive harm. Plastics have been linked to hormonal disruptions affecting fertility in both men and women. Immune suppression. Plastic particles may alter immune system function, increasing vulnerability to infections. This isn't theoretical. It's increasingly observed in both animal studies and human epidemiological data. Common sources in your kitchen. Let's talk specifics. Here's how microplastics sneak into your food at home. Cutting boards. Plastic boards shed particles every time you use a knife, especially with repeated wear. Food containers. Heating or washing Tupperware over time degrades the plastic, releasing particles. Cling wrap. When microwaved, it can leach chemicals directly into food. Dish sponges. Most are made from synthetic materials and shed microplastics into dishwater. Coffee cups. Paper cups are often lined with plastic. Hot liquids cause leaching. To-go containers. Most are made from styrene-based plastics, which can release toxic compounds with heat. Even microwave safe doesn't mean safe for you. It means the container won't melt, not that it won't leach. Industry response. Slow, shallow, self-interested. The plastics industry has long deflected blame, calling microplastic concerns overblown, funding counter-studies to question data, promoting recycling myths while production increases. Despite global calls for action, plastic production is set to triple by 2060, and much of that will still be single-use. Why? Because plastic is cheap, durable, and convenient. The cost to your health? Not their concern. So what can you do? Practical steps. While we wait for stronger regulations, you can start protecting yourself today. Switch to glass or stainless steel containers, especially for heating. Use wooden or bamboo cutting boards. They're biodegradable and safer. Filter your water with filters rated for microplastic removal. Avoid synthetic fabrics when possible, especially for items that shed, like fleece. Be cautious with canned foods. Many cans are lined with plastic. Say no to microwave-safe plastic. Opt for ceramic or glass. Ventilate your home. Microplastics are airborne too. Use natural sponges and brushes. Ditch plastic dish tools. These won't eliminate exposure entirely, but they can significantly reduce your intake. This isn't just about individuals. The problem isn't just your kitchen. It's systemic. Manufacturers need to develop safer materials. Governments must enforce stricter food contact safety laws. Scientists need funding to study health impacts. Consumers need transparency on what's in their packaging. This is a moment for pressure and policy, not just personal change. The future, plastic in a post-plastic world. The good news? Innovation is coming. Bioplastics from algae, fungi, and cornstarch offer real promise. Smart packaging designed to degrade without leaching. Plastic alternatives made from hemp, mushroom mycelium, and seaweed. Zero waste movements pushing industry reform. But for now, the burden remains on you to navigate the risks. The era of plastic convenience is ending, and the era of plastic consequence has arrived. Final thought. You don't need to live like a monk or give up modern life. But you do need to wake up, because it doesn't take much. A chopped onion here. A reheated lunch there. A latte in a paper cup. And before you know it, your bloodstream is full of plastic. This is more than gross. It's a health crisis in slow motion. We can't see it. We can barely taste it. But it's there, in every bite, sip, and breath. Time to break up with plastic. Before it breaks you, what's your strategy to cut down on plastic? Did any of these facts surprise you? Let's talk below. Like, subscribe. Share this with someone who still microwaves in plastic. Because the invisible poison on your plate is more real than you think.